So we're going to go through the new UI mockup presentation.
Guys, I think you could see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So in the previous session, we have seen that what is the current POC screen, what we have. Now in this session, we are going to talk about what is the future. Okay, what is the future of the CDS Studio UI? And this is a draft version. So here we are expecting a lot of comments and feedbacks. Okay, to improve that user experience also. So everyone should participate. I believe that everyone should participate in this discussion so that we can build a very user experience, very good user experience UI, because that is a key here, key for this particular tool, CDS initiative. Okay, let me jump into that. Okay, here before going into that, I got some inspiration from other tool. Like I think you might have heard about Hyperledger Composer blockchain. Okay, little bit talk about the blockchain, how they are trying to manage that contracts, smart contracts. Okay, so that it will be helpful. It's more similar that we are trying to talk about in this case here. Okay, assume that I am trying to relate that the contracts with our blueprint. Okay, assuming that the contracts with the blueprint. So you can create that contracts. Okay, on fly. Most of the things you might know that. Okay. All the contracts on fly, and mostly business analysis to use that contract, okay, mostly. And then that contract will be distributed to the models, okay, network models. So in that case, that similar concept is here. So it means like that contract is executable code. If you look in the blockchain, it's an executable node. It is written in Go or Node, okay, NPM Node. Two languages they use mostly, and Java also later they try to support. So similar concept. So you are trying to model. So in a Hyperledger Composer also you are trying to model a transaction. So they have a concept called transaction. They model, it's like action. They are trying to model an action. Transaction is nothing but action, and they try to model that access control. Okay, it's like for a particular transaction, who are all the owners to participate in that particular transaction, and then they are trying to create a final executable package, and they are trying to distribute to that network. Okay, so this is the concept, very high-level concepts we are using in blockchain. So similar inspiration, similar thing that we are trying to do here. Okay, we are doing the same thing here. Actually, what we are trying to do, we are trying to create a model, and that model consists of multiple types. It consists of executable. It consists of some designer UI, which is nothing but transaction. We are defining the workflow. We are defining the action. We are defining the inputs. Okay, what are the inputs, and we are defining the policies. Okay, and finally we are distributing that particular output. Okay, what are the outputs to the SO or SDC or other systems basically. That's a similar concept that we are trying to do. That's the reason I got that inspiration from them. Okay, and let me open that home page. And, okay, similar thing. Okay, even this diagram concept they call the business network archive file. Okay, the same thing. Like it consists of a multiple file, and then they build that DNA file, and then they distribute to that corresponding based on that environment. So they have a script file, they have access control, they have query file. It's like in our case, it's a dictionary. Okay, so all those concepts, similar concepts. Okay, so with this thing, and even that dashboard, the playground. But the sad thing is like I got from IBM that they are going to sell this product. I believe they might come with a different product. Okay, but let's see. Okay, but we can use that playground, the concepts. What are the concepts they have? Okay, let me show that playground concepts here. Okay, see here. This is a assume that this is a starter package, right? So we have we can create a new network. So in this case, we are trying to create a new network. Okay, and in our case, we are trying to create a new blueprint archive. Okay, our models. Okay, so like this, they have a model, and after then they have that UI. Okay, the editor-based UI. So you could see that on that side. Okay, the editor. Once you click on that, this screen will populate. Okay, editor will come, and then you can enter that information like access control or what are the scripting. Okay, yeah. It's both the same actually. That process is same actually. Okay. Yeah. it's like no on fly itself. You are designing that model, you are designing that orchestration, you are designing that access control, you are designing that you are designing that script file, okay, and then you are packing the same thing and distributing to that network, okay, the on fly itself, okay. So it means like self-service perspective, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that concept leave about that. We are not going to talk about the concept. We are trying to talk about like who are all the participants, what
package creation.
It's a package creation and then role, okay, who is participating in that creation of that model, okay. So yeah, exactly, okay. So it's like mostly that business analysis to design that models and transactions there, okay. And here we are trying to have a BNF owner. So we are trying to match that role. We are trying to make user experience, okay. So even they face the same issue. The finally end of the day, what the thing is, they want to create a model and then distribute that model to the environment. That's the end goal, right? So for them, objective also the same, and for us also the objective is the same. Just I'm trying to take some inspiration from that idea, okay, how they build that screen and what is the workflow, okay, they follow, okay, and what kind of layouts they are coming up with that, okay. So it means like it's like a starting point. That is also Linux open project, right? Linux Foundation project.
Yeah. Hyperledger or blockchain or whatever. You're not actually using blockchain. You're inspiring the UI utility.
UI.
Okay.
Only the UI.
So the tracing of who did what and who did what in the blueprints and whatnot, it's still the GitHub thing, or sorry, the Garrett that we were talking yesterday, right? So it's transaction.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like more the concept and goal is the same for both. Okay, both the Hyperledger Composer and as well as this one. Okay.
Sure. It was the tracking of who edited what.
Yeah.
That's here. Okay.
Yeah. That's what we are trying to get and getting the best practices available so that we don't want to get into a lot of reinventing the same thing. That's the point I'm trying to bring here. Okay. Even for user experience perspective also, UI user experience perspective also. Okay. So. And if you look into that this particular screen, we have a define and test also. This is called the simulation mode. Okay, so we can define that model and simultaneously we can inject that model, okay, to our network and then try to take off the test. Okay, the test in a simulation mode. So for that, only thing is I just want to give that idea behind that. Okay, it means like they are also handling that file, dynamic script files. They are also handling that. They are also handling with the models. Okay, they are also handling with the policies. Okay, they are also handling with the deploy function. Okay, if you look into that, they have the deploy function. Okay, they have a test function. Okay, if you look into that, and then import and export functions, they already have everything. They have that similar to what we are trying to discuss. Okay, that's the inspiration we got from them, and then they talk about the transaction. In the transaction, it's nothing but that operation. Okay, on fly, so they are trying to define that operation. They are trying to model that input, and then finally they are exporting as a package and deploying the package. Okay, and parallel testing also. Okay, so yeah, with this background, okay, and just it's like we try to design which suits for our case actually. Let's check with this background. So we are going to have that. Okay, it's like a high-level mock-up only. We can use the same layout. And one more, it's like after that Akumos, one more project. Akumos project. Even that project also uses the same concept, okay? It's same concept like designing and then deploying, okay? It's more similar to that, okay? And even they have that one more, added to that, they have a tag editor also. Tag editor means that visual composer, okay? In Hyperledger, we don't have a visual composer, but in Akumos, we have a visual composer. So in that case, that is also a Linux project. I think you all know about that. Is for artificial intelligent orchestration, that component and data flow orchestration, data flow and data stream orchestration. Okay, so assume that, okay, that we can take the same models like how they start the project. Okay, it's like a template and starter package. Okay, for that I have given. I don't want to reinvent the same thing. So this is that way. Okay, we land here, come here, and then we try to enter that information, minimal information, and select the starter package. Starter package means reusable package. Okay, say for example, I don't want to create from scratch, right? So if I have some X services already defined as a template, then I can, from that starting point, I can extend to my use case or to create my, so that that starter package will be loaded by default whenever you are trying to create a persona, or we can have a separate screen to auto load during that designing time itself what all the packages that we want. So with that management we can have separately. And once you load that, we can select the starter package, and after then it will pop up editor screen. So like this actually, screen. So based on that file type, we may launch the different designing UI on the right hand side. Okay. So if it is a simple script file, then it is a script editor, and if it is of if you are trying to edit that designer file, the definition file, then it will be a graphical user. So we are trying to get a graphical user there, and then below that, once you complete that, you can see that deploy changes, deploy all those options there, so that we can persist in our database or we can transfer to that SDC. Okay, and then we have that edit, import, see here, import, export option is there, and then add file. Add file means, so suppose we want to create a dynamic Python file or JavaScript file or any other configuration file. Based on that add file, then it pops like what kind of file that you want to add that. So based on the definition type, it goes to the corresponding directory sector on the left hand side, and you can model that. Okay, you can provide that input content, and a lot of views are available there, that settings and options.
So a quick question.
Yeah.
So this is to create a blueprint and all that.
Yeah.
Right. But why are we talking about a Python script again? Isn't that the Python scripts are wrapped around data dictionaries and whatnot? Or?
Yeah, suppose the custom component. Yesterday I have shown that netconf, okay, infraction, that custom component, okay. So that kind of components we want to be, it has to be a part of a CBA file, right?
Okay, but why don't we create a custom component and then reuse it on the blueprint rather than creating it within the blueprint?
That needs a development time and deployment, build times and all those things, right? So certain cases, framework perspective and common reusable common perspective that you can have as a component, and then you can inject to the framework and build and handle with the build. But certain things like custom components or custom thing, okay, so in that case it's a self-service perspective. Whenever I'm trying to come with a self-service perspective, some 100% I may not satisfy with that whatever that component by default provider. I may need to handle in a different way or model in a different way. Okay, so at that time, definitely you will land into the situation where you want to create a custom script. Okay.
I understood, but why? Like that makes the custom component not reusable. So let's say that custom component is reused for 2 blueprints. Now I have to upload them twice.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we have a model there, right? If you feel that it is going to be a reusable, whatever the component you are trying to create, you will model. Okay. When we come to the custom part, if you don't see the catalog there, if you don't see that model there, then only we will try to do that, right?
Okay. No, I
essentially you have both ways of doing this, right? Yeah. You either go to a custom implementation with the reusable script, right? Or when you go in for the blueprint creation, you select your component and then inject that script that you want.
Exactly.
Are you saying that the custom component will be part of the starter package?
No.
You will select what you want, which node type you want.
No.
But for reusability, you're gonna save it as a starter
package.
Yes.
Okay. So I see it, but okay. I felt that it would have been better if we had some kind of even though it's a custom component, if we create it as a model, as a little dictionary or whatever.
No. That is there. Even dictionary, if you try to create a dictionary also, that implementation has to be there, right?
No, but I mean the actual. Oh yeah. But directly using it in the blueprint is to me like we're gonna be repeating the same thing.
No.
But it's okay.
It's like when you go to custom component, it means like that framework does not support that. Okay, at the time only you are going to come up with a custom component, right? That's the point.
Right. It's a custom component you're coming up for a reason, but why don't we make that custom component reusable and not for re-upload them for each?
No, that name custom itself, it is specific to the particular service. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay.
It's specific instance. Not instance. It's a
specific
model.
Particular model. Model itself is specific to that model.
Okay.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
It's like a resource finder, right?
Yeah. Okay. And and coming back to that same Outlook and everything. This definition it is going to change based on that what file that we are trying to edit. Okay. Now coming back to that. Before that, till now, any other suggestions here? Any other? Right.
Good news.
Huh? Yeah.
No
Good.
objection.
No, sometimes I feel afraid also.
No more.
Okay. Now move on to the actual the definition screen actually. Okay. So here we have a this is a file editor. This is nothing but mimic of that. Okay. So better we can refer that Hyperledger UI was defining itself. And this is the main screen that I want to have a. Okay. Once you select, okay, you have a definition, right? Yesterday I mentioned that structure of a CBA file. Okay, in a structure we have a definition. So what we are trying to do, okay, just here it's like a catalog. So whatever you could see that, okay, node type, policy types, okay, it's like a catalog information. You have seen that. Okay, once you click on that, it will have a search box there. Okay, that search box, if you try to enter that, automatically whatever you have stored information, whatever the reusable stored type based on the component or directed class or something that you will try to get that. Once you drag itself, then automatically it creates instance. So it means like no need to create a type and create that instance basically. Okay. So from there itself we can drag, automatically it creates instance, and once you click on that property, okay, we can enter that name here, okay, below that name, and what you could see that circles with the different colors, right? Okay. So one is capability, one is a policy reference, and one is a requirements actually. Okay, so assume in a circle we can have a, if this is a circle I try to put that, so you can have a proper image for that. Okay, if it is of a directed graph, then we can have a directed graph. If it is of VNF, then device kind of notation, so that it will be very easy to understand what is that particular component. Okay, and if I click on that particular node, okay, these are nothing but nodes. Whatever you could see in a blue round box, okay, it's nothing but a node template. Okay, in a Kafka definition, it is a node template, and a node once you click on the node template, below you could see the property, okay, and attributes, capability sections, relationship, artifacts, and interface section. Okay, so you can go to that each corresponding property, and that is completely pure model driven, right? So for a particular definition, okay, you have a type definition already available for that. Okay, so based on that, you could show that property panel here, okay, and expression box. Okay, you can enter that expression box how you want to model, and then attribute also you can enter that expression, and finally interface. Okay, you can model that interface inputs and outputs. Okay, that section it is going to come here. Okay, and along with that, okay, this policy later we will take about that. Okay, so along with that we will have that policy. Okay, because what happens now, one policy can reuse across multiple node templates actually. Okay, so I can attach that one policy type, okay, to multiple node templates. So that's the reason I put as a policy as a separate screen, and you can tag or you can provide a link to that particular. And this screen is like one workflow. Okay, whatever I could say, this is like a one workflow. Okay, not the policy. Policy you can have that separate one. Okay, it's like whatever the node we are trying to do as like a one workflow. So you can have in a controller blueprint. Okay, you can define any number of workflows. And one more thing, I will try to add that input properties also. Okay, for each workflow perspective, okay, you can set that one more property. It's like a workflow property. So if you click on that workflow, then automatically you can capture that input. Yeah, go ahead.
This is just a sample, or you want this screen to also show this flow?
It will show the topology.
So that means in the GUI itself, right? It will
Paddle.
actually.
If you see like the SDC type of GUI?
No.
Okay. I can send a picture. There they have like a panel, and you can basically drop and drag a bunch of things within your catalog and link them together, like a VNF topology. Just think of it, right? These are how VNFs connected. This is the VF modules. These is how the VNFCs are being orchestrated, right? So same concept of a SDC design studio from a panel perspective, we're bringing into the control design studio.
Okay. So So the current screen, SDNC screen already show this kind of graph.
The CDS screen will have
CDS
a paddle type of topology view.
Yeah, but the problem with this one, it's like they don't support the custom type. So whatever the type they have defined in SDC, only they support that particular type. And moreover, they don't have the complex data type.
That point doesn't matter. The point is that we want to bring that topology view itself into the CDS because that CPA package, we want to make sure that it's visible.
When you say topology, you mean the data flow topology, or you mean the
No,
network topology?
it's more like the workflow, within your workflow, what's happening. How your models are connected. That's the type of topology.
Exactly. And by
It's
looking
not
at
VNF topology. It's more of a execution topology also.
yeah, and then I'm not showing that workflow connection, actually success failure. Yesterday I have shown that model, right, success failure. First, in this release we are going to go with a DG, okay, directed graph. It means like that orchestration will be handled in a DG, and once we get the framework up and running, so that workflow, that success failure linkage, okay, we can provide here itself, so that it can background automatically, it can generate a DSL language, and then automatically it can, with that, we can generate very easily. Without directed graph itself, we can use any other.
You'll have basically multiple ways of doing orchestration.
Orchestration. So,
Okay, I got a point now. I'm glad you guys mentioned the SDT because that's, I have used it and I see. So when I see, so you guys think that adding a custom component is a negative of SDT if it was existing? So let's say SDC allowed you to add a custom component in the design. Do you see that as a negative? Is that why we're allowing it here?
it's a model.
No. Let me just answer this question to make sure. We wanted to make sure we have a controller design studio so that we can manage this package of stuff, right? And that distribution is it's like workflow designer or DCA designer, right?
Okay.
It's the separation of what it's how we're managing the execution itself.
Validation, all other things.
So that's what ASC is giving us within their topology is the VNF topology, the what model, right? That is the difference between the two UIs.
Right, but
And nothing negative about ASDC. All we're saying is that there are different catalog needs that we have in CBA or CDS than ASDC because their views are within the VNF topology space.
But I see SDC as more reusable in terms of their catalog, whereas like earlier, by going back to where a custom component, just dropping it on the blueprint, to me, that seems like, okay, it's a custom component, but that custom component may not be specific for every single one. Maybe I can reuse the specific component. So we have use cases where we use the exact same VNF for two different services and just a different template. So to me, the way SAC has done, onboard the custom component so it becomes available in the catalog and then drop it on your blueprint is better alternative than directly saying, hey, I have it on my laptop, I'm going to just upload and drop it in my blueprint. And then there's no reuse for the next service that is, I could use the same.
It's part of your catalog.
But the way it was seen was not, you're not dropping it from the catalog, you're directly uploading it to the blueprint.
No, maybe the script you can upload, right?
It's like a dynamic.
Yeah, exactly, but
It's dynamic string.
why don't we go create another page where I upload my custom component
Let me ask
and
you.
then it becomes available.
You have a model, right? And if you have, and that model has a script, right? And the
Okay.
script is always gonna be the same. It's not different, right?
Yeah.
So that is a specific custom component. Okay?
Yeah.
That you drop and drag and that's it. You don't need to do any scripting. Okay.
Okay.
There's another view. Another view is that you have a custom component, but then you have dynamic script. Okay? So the script could change from VNF to VNF.
Yeah, one thing like the property, that yesterday I have shown the property. Okay, someone wants that commit, okay, some other services, they don't want that
Some
commit.
VNFs might want to do replace or
Yeah,
whatever it may
So
be.
in that case, no, so we will end up in a component which is not reusable and sitting in a catalog.
Right,
Okay.
and that custom component goes through the build cycle itself.
Right.
It's not a script, it's not just an edit itself, right? The main point
The
we're making
transaction won't be
is
same
the
also.
flexibility you need, you have have your, what you are looking for, if you want to reuse the same script and within the custom component, but you also need a mechanism where you can inject things. It's fulfilling both requirements.
Yeah, the only negative that I see from that is you have your catalog filled with things that are only used once, but on the other
Not
side.
used once.
No, but you could have that, right? Like if
You could.
Yeah.
You could,
It could end up being super specific to one thing that there's no reuse.
All depends.
That's the only negative, but on the positive side is that if we somehow, I guess I'll stop here because I
want to hear the positive.
well, the positive is that if you drag and drop it in your blueprint, you only use it for this specific service, but there's no reuse. I have to still drag and drop it again. But I do not see the other alternative that you're just mentioning, that you have both ways. You can drag and drop in your catalog, or directly into the blueprints rather than catalog.
So anything that's put in the blueprint is from the catalog.
See, that's where it's like a node type, right?
Okay.
We have a node type, right? So you can, whatever you can put it in the catalog, okay, automatically it is accessible, so you can drag from here. Searchable and
I got that, but if we go up a few slides where we saw a custom component being dropped directly into the blueprint, or the earlier conversation that we had, or that's my misunderstanding.
So custom components, if you are talking about resource resolution perspective, or what's the
No, like let's say
because two
let's say
different
the Python script that will do a netconf directly to the device, is that going to be a part of a custom component?
No. That's what I'm trying to say. There are two levels of components. Okay, one is resource assignment level, and another one is component level.
Okay.
Now
The second one, the component level.
Yeah, component level will be reusable.
Okay.
Okay, but in my process, during my execution itself, okay, during the dynamic script, whatever I'm trying to, at the time I need an API, okay, I need a Python-based API, Python-based business logic processing, okay. So in that case, simple one database process I want to do, which is not a component, which is nothing but the utility that I want to use that. So in that case, what I will do, I will write a one small Python-based script function for that to populate that manage that, or XML serializing or XML this one, I will populate that and put it in that package, and in the dynamic model, what are the models, okay, that I'm trying to come, I will come and edit that, okay, even though it's like I drag it from there, I have an option to edit that particular script and inject the script to that component. So it means like I can use it, change it, use as it is also, change it as it is also, inject that, intercept that script also, okay, and giving that flexibility, okay. So it is not like whatever defined in the component model, I can't use it for all these scenarios.
Yeah. What scares me on this is that what if you are trying, like let's say that little custom component was to push to do an editing page, and now there is some kind of a structure change, and we got hundreds of these now, or tens of these, or whatever. Now we have to update them for
the migration.
Yeah, it's a migration for all of them individually.
But no, you are not looking that other way also. Okay, certain things we don't need a migration also. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say that. Okay, it is like management, how you manage it. It is a policy and it is a guidance. It is a what to say that review. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say that. Okay, it is under review. It is not like function or a platform to manage that. The function I'm trying. Think about like we always say reusability. But never reusability, it's like a matter of design and how we code that, right?
Okay.
And how we review the code. That's what I'm trying to say there. Platform has a capability, but there is a need for that platform capability to alter that flow and alter that information, okay, based on my need. At the time, I should not stuck and wait for another capability component to develop and deliver and then here, right?
Yeah, but if you simplify that component creation, then
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say there. Most of the things we are trying to create, okay, if you look into that, if you look into our model, whatever we have, only three steps. Download, base config license, download, that's it, two things. Most of the cases we reuse that completely. But the problem is like when I try to connect to that other devices, it is expecting that merge. Instead of merge, it is trying to expect the replace. So in that case, no, I can create one more component and then put that. Okay, one other case is what the thing is, replace and commit, I can't use that. Okay, right. So in that case, it's like it is growing. That's
yeah, the catalog is
growing unnecessarily.
That's the only disadvantage, but
yeah.
The advantage is that
no, why? That's the problem. If it is a unique to that particular, obviously, okay, how refactoring will happen.
But how do you know at the time of the creation that it's super unique? Let's say tomorrow you have another use case that is going to be.
No, it is recognized. By seeing the standard itself, you will come to know that whether it is a reusable component or generic way we are building or custom way we are building itself. No, we come to know that. Okay, with that, by seeing the requirement itself, we will come to know that. That's where reusable APIs we are trying to build that. That's where microservices we are trying to build that.
Okay.
Okay, that's the point of the design.
I'm satisfied now. Okay.
Yeah.
You also hit volume, and you pick what components you're building based on volume.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm saying that API we are building in the same way. So, okay, there are certain APIs, custom APIs and reusable APIs. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
All right. Let's see.
Yeah. So with this designer screen, I think I'm talking too much. Or?
Well, it's okay.
Any questions on the designer screen? So we have to do mock-ups itself, right?
Yeah, no, one more thing is there. Three screens still there.
Oh, you're still okay.
So sorry, here, is this including the workflow?
Yeah.
And node type, like think of node types, right? Node types, you could have workflow node types.
No. I'll put that point slightly. Okay. So here we have our workflows, right? So here, okay, in a blueprint, I think you have seen that structure of blueprint. Okay, let me talk. Structure is the service topology, topological template. Okay, here we have a data type, okay, node type, data type, artifact type, policy type. So these are types. Okay, here node template, here we have node template in topology, and then we have a workflow. Workflow is array, right? So it's like I can define an action called resource resolution workflow. I have that node target. Okay, we have a called target. This target refers to that one of the node template and input. Okay, and similarly for activation, I can have activation. Okay, so this node template right now is a directed graph. Link actually. So it means like always you will have only one step and one step pointing to one node type which is nothing but directed graph. So we have activation, another workflow, okay, which talks about target, different targets, which is of node template of directed graph with activation flow. Okay, and this has a relationship. Okay, node template has a relationship of components. Okay, this is the directed graph. Directed graph has a requirement of another node template which is of component type. Okay, and this component has a requirement of device. Okay, device of another node type. Okay, now you are getting the relationship, right? You are getting the relationship.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So like this, you have a different workflow. So it means like you are going to model in a blueprint. If you want only one workflow, okay, then you will have one that particular design, whatever I was shown that node organization. Okay. If you have that, if you have that another workflow, two workflows that you want to design, then one more design will come, and you will have a new set of node templates connected to it, right? You understand that relationship, right? How it is related. Yeah. So in that workflow section itself, this queue will refresh based on that workflow name. That top we can give that. Okay, this is like a draft and central mock-up. Okay, we can design during the design discussions because I don't want to spend a lot of time before going or before reaching to you guys actually. Okay, so we can have a workflow name, and then each workflow name has a property. Okay, we can have an input section below that for the particular workflow, and then automatically we can capture that input section, whatever we have shown morning, right? Similar to that input section, we can capture, we can add inputs, and dynamically we can map that inputs there, and then assign that node. Okay, so always if you are trying to define a node, okay, step, okay, one step, or right now there won't be any problem because the directed graph handles the relationship with the component. Future will be different.
Yeah, that is later.
Okay. So So you will have that directed graph. If you look into the directed graph we have, and then we have a component directed has a relationship. Okay, so by this now I will come to know that. Okay, directed graph uses this component, and then I can attach a policy and capability like this. Okay, so I can attach, and then device also you could see that this is a device. Okay, I can connect that device with that netconf. Okay, I can try to connect them. So in that way, by looking at itself, I can tell that what is the relationship, and background it generates based on that. Okay, whatever wiring that we are trying to do. Somewhat clear? Okay, and coming back to that another screen. Okay, this is like a resource assignment specific to that resource assignment. Okay, let me explain that. Okay, if you for each node assignment has a template artifact section, right? You could see that artifact. Okay, if I click on that any node template, artifact sections will be there. Okay, you can model that n number of artifacts. Okay, you can select that you can add a new artifact. Okay, that if artifact definition type it matches with resource mapping. Okay, because we have defined that types of artifact, right? One is the resource mapping, and another one is template. Okay. If it matches the template of velocity something like that, once you click on the edit option, it opens the velocity template editor. Okay, and if it is of type of normal Python or something like that, then it can open that. Or you can give the reference of the file also, whatever in the blueprint definition. Okay, under the folder structure, you can give that, you can refer that also. Okay, that kind of input it will come. So based on that type, it can launch that UI or it can redirect the particular UI. Okay, that detailed discussion that we can have later. So now you are able to visualize that how the designer should come.
So the button in here, like property attributes stuff, you will once you click that, you will have a submenu to show some certain item, or still on the background.
It'll be whatever is modeled.
Whatever the model, right? No template has a definition of what property. Because while defining the components itself, I will tell that these are all the properties, these are the attributes I am incorporating inside, and this is the interface and all information, inputs, outputs, everything that will come as a catalog.
In those circles, right? For
Yeah.
example, you have capability point, whatever, all those items. You click that one,
Yeah.
and it will actually show additional menu.
Yeah. That's what. Based on that below, information will be populated. Yeah.
So if you click on, let's say, artifacts, and I want to upload a template, and that will be underneath the interface.
Yeah.
And then the user, once uploaded, you can edit
Yeah.
the template.
Yeah. That also is there. Yeah. That I think you can.
Does this also give you save to local file capability?
Yeah. That's what I have shown this here.
So you save it locally. Deployment goes to SDC.
Right. So it means that you can save to your PC, right?
Yeah. You can do that. So
And you can export it. You mean like
export and import.
Yeah, you can export it.
Export and
When you save though, right, you save to a database.
Database.
What ASDC can directly access to that database?
No, you have to deploy it to ASDC. So whatever you save doesn't go directly to ASDC. You can save it, test it, it's good, then you deploy it. Yeah.
And the CDS gives you the interface to do the submit to it.
Yeah. We will have the
So we
integration
have-
between SDC.
We have tested deploy. Okay, it is not actual deploy. Tested deploy we have that, so that it will. You can in a testing machine. You can. Okay, you can test it, and if it is okay, then you can do a real deploy. That yesterday, if you look into that first day, I shown that the 3A point, right? The tested deploy. What is two seconds? Okay, and back to that. Okay, so we have this editor template edit, so where you can see that velocity templates and content. Okay, it's here, and this is a resource mapping, right? So right now you have seen that morning we have shown that the table structure, right? So it's like completely and it's very difficult to understand the relationship and dependencies for each property. So now we are going to generate from that mapping, from that dependency, okay, what all the property it has identified, then it will be there, okay, the scattered in a manner there. Then you can, with the default dependency, it creates that flow. If not, okay, if you feel that if it's a hanging node or hanging property, then you can try to connect that dependency so that it can update that background. And each resource, okay, once you click on that particular property, you could see that resource type, data dictionary, okay, all those information it will be available here, so that you can manage this particular each node.
this is a screen to replace that
Yeah.
data dictionary
Exactly.
screen.
Exactly. Okay, and then we will provide that.
So how about the data dictionary definition? Where do you define that?
Yeah, that right now I haven't captured. Simply, like three requirements I have put that because it is a model based. So based on that model, it generates a form. Okay, and then that form will be displayed. That's the catalog.
So this mapping is a dependency or is, I don't understand.
Dependency.
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 It's the entire dependency
Dependency.
for your,
So
your template.
by looking at bundle mac itself, I know that IP address has to resolve. Right?
Yeah. This is auto generated based on this.
It's
Yeah.
that topology. It's
Based
that,
on that, okay.
Based on that, so for property and dependency. With the property and dependency, you can draw the graph like this. So by looking at itself, you will come to know that what is the starter one, okay? What is the flow it is trying to go, and with that each click, then you can manage that all the properties. What source you want to select. You could see that here, resource name, resource dictionary. Okay, what out of that resource dictionary name and resource type. Leave over that default values and all resource source. Okay, this is another important. Okay, you can out of that.
So which button allow you to generate CBA files?
Yeah. So that main screen will be like this. Okay, this is the main screen. Okay, so here you could see that, right? Export. Okay, export and deploy. You're able to.
You make it bigger. This looks like difficult to see.
Export will generate a CBA file.
This presentation view graph, would that be available at the wiki site?
Yeah, it is there. Complete.
yeah,
PPT
this
service already.
PPT is there.
Is it there? I cannot find it.
Yeah.
It's part of the architecture overview.
Yeah.
So Brinda, this is resource assignment to mapping screen, right? Or this is the main?
This is a it's like a front screen, okay, where you could see that all the files, and based on that file, this will be populated. This is the dynamic. Okay, if it is a definition, it is a definition. If it is a script, it is a script editor, and then based on the type, this definition it is going to render.
Okay. So here only we'll see the capabilities and all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No. You are talking about the catalog, or you are talking about the model file?
Model.
Model, yeah. It is a model, yeah. Okay. So here only this designer will come. Okay, whatever I have shown that, right? That's that.
Right, I got what you're saying. Yes.
I will come. Okay, based on the file type, it generates it. Okay. Okay, if it is a README file, it is a plain text. If it is a script file, based on the script, what nature of the script, that particular editor will load. And if it is a definition file, that definition will load.
Sorry, that Dublin controller design studio architecture. You mean that one, right?
Go all the way down.
But that link
Yeah.
doesn't have a link. If you click
In the
that,
wiki page?
yeah.
It has a link. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you highlight, but it seems like you have a link, but no link.
Looks like
No,
the
it is
link,
different page.
no, the link is, not, yeah, it's something, alright, give me 1 second. We can fix that.
Okay. So,
Because the work items you have a link, but that one doesn't.
Yeah, something happened.
and then, yeah, along with that, we have a roles here itself. Okay, you can see the role at the top, and then view, okay, what kind of view that we want and settings we have. And one more, later we will talk about the settings also. Okay, some of the configuration, it's like, if I want to validate a source, a dynamic source, so in that case, I want to connect to that one system which is already running up and running. So in that case, we want to do some configuration. Okay, that configuration screen also we can have. Okay, so that based on persona, you can point to the corresponding runtime environment for that, and then we can work on that. Okay, or some environment configuration. Based on that, you can generate that. This is at high level. We need to have a design session for each point.
whether it's related or not. So we say this CDS is part of the SDC or is part of portal?
It's part of SDC.
Inside SDC.
It's an extension. It's an extension. It's like an iframe.
Okay.
It's an
Okay.
iframe extension, like DCA Designer or Workflow Designer.
Okay. That's be different from like Clamp or any other.
Clamp, I believe Clamp today is probably integrated with Ecoportal, but I believe all the designer app extensions will move towards SDC.
Okay. All right.
All for ONAP, they must live inside that direction. Now, if you have runtime can be integrated with Ecoportal. You don't need to be part of SDC because that's a runtime execution.
Right.
But all design time tools need to be integrated with.
Okay. Yeah. So another is I'm thinking is that at the runtime when we do the this is not the instantiation of the. Do we have we still have a portal for the runtime, right, for the CDS runtime portal?
Yes, there should be some runtime portal for CDS. I believe we will have it, but I don't know if we'll have it in Dublin.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's right. So we have a test. If you look into that inline screen, I have a test there, top, right?
There's a test view, so your CBA package can be executed before you deploy it to SDC.
But it's not in the scope of the. We'll work on it.
So how user will use this feature? The designer is not use
You can test it, right?
they can test, but doesn't mean they can really use it.
Oh, you mean execute it, the runtime?
Yeah.
So for post-instantiation use case, right, you trigger it from bid to SO to SDMC or ASCII. You have to do the whole, it's like instantiation, right? Bid, SO, SDMC.
For the post installation, are we doing now with this? I thought we don't. We have a CDS.
We need to, we need a use case to support post-instantiation.
Support.
So it's going to be part of a. We're going to have some kind of a building block notion that you essentially attach the post instantiation trigger from there.
Yeah, essentially what I'm thinking that we can extend the generic building blocks in Dublin to support post-instantiation.
I think there are two things because post installation, what does it mean? Configure right after installation, or it's just any time I want to change the configuration?
Right. So it's not change management for sure. It should be done after instantiation. The question is, do you do it as part of instantiation flow or do you do it as a separate flow? Okay. And it all depends on the use case, because in some cases, right, it's okay to go and push a base config. Okay. But some cases, like if you're doing anything on core, you want to make sure you're doing it on the maintenance window. So you can instantiate your VNF and put maybe initial configuration, but you don't want to trigger the post instantiation yet. You want to wait until you have maintenance window, somebody from operations team comes in, and then trigger the post instantiation itself.
Right. So for second case, you want to wait and choose the time to do that. From where you will you will do that?
It should be through vid.
It
should be through vid.
With
Vid, yeah.
Okay. Then
It should be.
Yeah,
that's the front portal.
We actually have an exact use case where post-instantiation configuration is not done until somebody does something on the core network. There's a config that needs to go as part of that, and then what we call it as a step 3. So step 1, instantiate, and then step 2, do something outside of ONAP, and then step 3, where it does that. But it would be nice to do both at the same time, because have both of the options. So either the post instantiation or let it stay. But I think what Yang was asking, do we have any plans for day 2, like you called it?
Change management?
Yeah, change management type of thing. Do we have any plans on this?
There's plans, of course. So when did these plans realize using CDS, right?
But wouldn't it make sense, like, to have the plans integrated today, so when we are working on the current implementation, we're gonna have that in the back of our mind, and then essentially build this in such a way that the post-instantiation with a pause in between the instantiation and post-instantiation config is essentially, we got the day two, the change management that you're talking about for free almost. So say I want to click a button and say, do the post-instantiation, and that post-instantiation every time could pick a different template or whatever,
So
whatnot.
change management is a little bit outside of instantiation. There's like a scheduler there. So it's a separate system, yeah.
Yeah, but look, I mean, in terms of the back end, the scheduling and the front end of part of it.
In terms of the back end, it's ONA. You're right. It's
Yeah,
SO, it could be policy, it could be SDNC, it could be ASCII, whatever it may be. But it's a separate mechanism for change management, because change management could be across networks, across one VNF. You know, it's a matter of what you're doing in change management.
Yeah, but let's take a simple use case where I want to basically have a VNF, and the VNF is the configuration is evolving, like let's say from the
Incremental.
Incremental, like let's say a month into it, I need to put some config. Essentially, what I'm saying is, it should not be any different than that flow where we're pushing some config post-instantiation. It's not equal to the post-instantiation config, but rather something that the user said, okay, I want to add some more licenses. Push. And now...
So, again, I would say that if you look at ONAP has taken a view of change management as being change management, regardless if it's incremental or not.
Okay, but a simple use case could have fit
It
in.
could. It can.
The
It
existing
can.
flow.
It can. You can do it, but you know, you got to influence ONAP too.
Yeah. Let's say you made a mistake or something on your post instantiation, right? And you just want to correct the license key or something, right? That to me should not trigger you from deleting the VNF and then recreating that entire thing all over to be able to just correct the typo. So the flow for post instantiation should be able to say, hey, I want to put this other extra line of config. Boom. Goes in.
Yeah, but his point is, that's true.
That's true, and
How do you trigger it? Do you trigger it from it, or do you trigger it from change management?
Well, to me, you should have
How do
the
you
option of
trigger
triggering
incremental?
it.
Exactly, that's the problem. Okay, you should not hard-based network, okay, without the power. It's like that. You want to go with power. That's another thing, because we face a lot of issues in with respect to this, because back-end somebody